Deep within the heart of the sun-drenched forest, a massive lion lay sprawled across the golden floor. His rhythmic breathing was the only sound in the clearing, gently rustling the dry leaves like a soft autumn breeze. He was the undisputed king, a mountain of fur and muscle at rest. Nearby, a tiny mouse scurried through the thick undergrowth. Her world was small, her eyes fixed solely on a fallen berry that promised a modest feast. She moved with frantic energy, unaware of the sleeping giant just inches away. In her blind haste, she scrambled up a mound of golden fur, thinking it merely a hill. She dashed directly across the lion's sensitive nose, her tiny claws sparking a sudden, violent change in the afternoon's peace. The lion jolted awake. His eyes snapped open, glowing like amber fire. A thunderous roar erupted from his chest, shaking the very trees and sending birds into a panicked flight. In a blur of golden motion, his heavy, scarred paw slammed down, pinning the trembling mouse against the hard earth. The mouse looked up at the towering, ivory claws that could end her existence in a heartbeat. Her whiskers twitched in absolute terror as she felt the heat of his breath. "Please, mighty king, forgive me," she squeaked, her voice thin and desperate. "I did not mean to disturb your rest. If you spare my life, I promise to repay this debt one day. Even a creature as small as I might serve you." She waited, certain that her end had arrived. The lion tilted his head, his magnificent mane casting a dark, cool shadow over the tiny prisoner. He let out a deep, rumbling laugh that vibrated through the ground beneath them. The idea was preposterous. "You? Repay me?" he mocked, his voice like grinding stone. He found her audacity amusing, a spark of spirit in such a fragile frame. Perhaps it was pity, or perhaps merely a whim of the bored king. He slowly lifted his heavy paw, granting her a miraculous reprieve. "Go, then, little one," he seemed to signal. Without a second glance, the mouse vanished into the safety of the brush, her heart hammering against her ribs like a drum. Days passed, and the forest returned to its quiet rhythm. But that peace was shattered by the sharp, metallic snap of a hunter's trap. The lion had stepped into a heavy hemp net hidden beneath the leaves. He thrashed with primal fury, his massive muscles straining against the thick, knotted ropes. But the more he struggled, the tighter the coils pulled against his golden limbs, biting into his skin. He let out a desperate, guttural roar that echoed for miles, a cry of a fallen king. Hidden in a nearby hollow, the mouse heard the unmistakable sound of the lion's distress. She abandoned her food and sprinted toward the roar, her tiny paws beating a frantic rhythm on the dirt. She reached the clearing to find the lion defeated, his coat matted with sweat and dust. Without a moment of hesitation, she climbed onto the thickest rope. Her sharp teeth sank into the tough fibers, gnawing with relentless focus. Strand by strand, the rope frayed and snapped under her persistence. Her jaw ached, but she did not stop. With a final forceful bite, the last main cord parted. The net fell slack, and the lion pushed his way out, standing tall and free once more. He looked down at the tiny creature, his expression softening with profound realization. He had learned that no act of kindness is ever wasted, and that even the smallest friend can be the greatest ally. The debt was paid, and a bond was forged in the shadows of the forest.